Hi, and welcome back to How to Publish in the New Millennium, from scientific journals to bestsellers, and this will be our last lecture of this series. I'm Dr. Chris Stout, and we'll be covering tutors. I track almost all of them, and there are a bunch. I'm on a number of email listservs to be able to kind of see who's who and what's going on out there. A lot of what I have learned from them I have distilled and you have heard about in this lecture. And also a number of them I have talked about that I have talked about in here have provided a lot of the ideas that I've applied as well too. So a lot of the work that I have is a bit of a tip of the hat of my own experiences and a distillation to seeing what's worked and getting ideas and being creative and applying them to my career. In terms of academic areas, there's IDG Connect. They have a variety of tools and resources available to be able to download. I think some are free, some might have a paywall, but highly recommend them. They're a very trusted and great source. There's no scamminess involved with them. There's also, like if your area is maybe a little less psychology, but biomedical journal perspectives from a editor's point of view, I'd highly recommend these. This is also available in audio, on-demand webinar, etc. And there's a variety of different kinds of things like that out there. So do take a look and see if there might be other things, if there's some specific kind of area that we didn't cover, or an area that you want to do a little deeper dive, or an area that might be a little less behavioral health or focused in the areas that I've talked about. There's a variety of resources out there, and I certainly encourage you to take a look at those to supplement or augment what we've talked about. A personal favorite, I am a fanboy of Tim Ferriss. He does a lot. He's a bestseller in a variety of, New York Times, and I'm sure Wall Street Journal, and a variety of others. But one of the things he does is really he distills things down, and he takes a lot of content and then makes it very easy to consume, and in some sense, I like his style, so very engaging. So go to his website. You can be able to get that downloadable. There's also entire books out there on it. This is from Amazon. You can buy this book on writing the perfect book proposal, which I thought how meta that was whenever the publisher got this this pitch and this proposal. So take a look at those, or maybe check them out from the library, etc. Check them out online. A variety of things available for free or certainly affordable kinds of costs. And honestly, there are dozens more out there. So it just depends on kind of what you're looking for. Are you looking for, like we talked about, more professional and academic kinds of things? Are you looking for doing a book? Are you looking for doing a blog? Are you looking for getting, paid? Are you looking to be a ghostwriter? What is it that you're out there searching for that you want to, do you need a coach? What have you? There are just tons and tons and tons of resources out there. Again, many of them available for downloads or what have you. So take a look and see, what's out there. These are some of the ones that I've seen that I've, kicked the tires on and felt are good. Also, I have not shown the ones that I don't like, but buyer beware. And maybe some of the things I don't like you would love. So just, do check them out. Make sure that there's nothing scammy or anything, bad about them. What I've also done myself is what I call a curated library of all those resources and all those websites and all those things that I found that have been available, usually in some kind of format or way, oftentimes digital, maybe podcasts, maybe PDFs, etc., is collect these. So I now have really lots, and I mean lots, of resources. So some of the things, just as a sampler, I have even more ways. We've talked about in here about Amazon rankings and tweaking your Amazon authors page, how to actually put together a Kindle book in a weekend, the mechanics, not so much the content, but how to build that out and put that together. Looking at CreateSpace and KDP formatted book templates and how to use those. If you're suffering from a writer's block, or you need to get something out and you're not super motivated, ways to do that, and some skills and techniques and hacks, if you will, to be able to do that. Different methods. These are also using some of the same blogging kinds of things we talked about in the last lecture. 14 methods for being able to be a little bit more efficient and write faster, not just quantity, but also the quality of what you're doing. If you do feel kind of back to the getting motivated, if you're kind of stuck with some kind of writer's block, and then just literally, I have almost 1,000 more tips and articles and resources that might be able to be of help to you. Like we saw with Tim Ferriss and his sitting amongst all of his books, this is a sample of some of my files. Kind of all strewn out here. This is one set. This is another set that I have in banker boxes. And this is the type of material that I go through when I'm working on something. I still have the digital things as well too. Some of these I actually scanned and turned into PDFs so I could have them easily shareable with people that I work with on a one-on-one basis to help them get through their work, or just as a librarian, so to speak. I've collected all of these into a set of Dropbox files. So I have some that are like for clinical practice only, for just people. Again, I'm a clinical psychologist, so there might be some people that I work with that are just interested in practice development. But then I've got some things that are also kind of evergreen into other areas. So social media, startups, generic kinds of things for any kind of productivity, career tips, entrepreneurial ideas, health and exercise, leadership, obviously authorship, a big sweet spot, different kinds of life hacks, travel hacks, developing your website, and marketing. So if you were to click on any one of those folders, they would cascade into an opening of a variety of other kinds of Word documents and PDFs and PowerPoints, like I had mentioned earlier. So I've collected all of these basically because of my role as a faculty member and teaching courses like this and other kinds of courses and consulting, to be able to be of help with you and others. So do feel free to reach out if I can be of continued help and support after today's class, because we've finished up our course. So do remember, there's this fellow named Stephen King who has a great quote: "The scariest moment is always just before you start." So the point being, get out there, fire up the computer, get some coffee or your favorite beverage, and be able to start to get started. If you need any other help from me, please do feel free to reach out. I'm available to help with my curated library or any other kinds of consultation needs that I can be of help with. I'm very excited to see what comes from you next, but don't be a stranger. Don't be inhibited. Feel free to reach out to me. Thanks so much for taking this class.